Shri Arunachala Ramanaya.
यथा प्रतीतिरुक्ता शास्त्रात् गुरुस्तस्तथात्मनस्तत्र शास्त्रप्रतीतिरादौ यद्वत् मधुरो गूढ अस्तीति अग्रे गुरुप्रतीतिदूरात् गूढाद्दर्शनं यद्वत् आत्मप्रतीतिरस्मात् गूढभक्षणजं सुखं यद्वत्. This is from Prabodha Sudhakara of Adi Shankaracharya. He gives 3 examples. 15. One is reading scriptures or getting the knowledge from scriptures. It is like knowing that jaggery is sweet or sugar is sweet. Then you go to Guru and understand it is like Guru shows that this is jaggery which is sweet. But staying put as Atma itself is like eating sugar itself and understanding that it is sweet.
Different. Anyone has any question or doubt? Hello Maya, hello.
Hi Sanjay, good
Hello.
evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Is non-attachment same as indifference?
I don't think they are same. Indifference means there is no love. So I think you should not be attached, but you should be loving and kind to all beings. When we are personalized in love, it is attachment that this thing I love, others I don't. Indifferent is something you are not attached, but then you are not loving it, isn't it? Like you are not in that love with that thing. Better to be indifferent to things rather than beings.
Yes.
You know, car or I don't know, I'm just saying things, anything, or eating or going or just indifferent, you know. Whatever comes, it's good. Whatever goes, it is good. That is the only way to finish this movie going on in front of us. Finish means the movie continues, but you come out of it.
Yes.
Whatever we do in this movie, our expert comments keeps us in this. Understand this truth.
Okay.
The moment we understand this simple truth, we keep quiet, you know. And the moment we keep quiet, we touch the bliss. Because our mind takes us out. Why this is happening, what this is happening. And the moment let's say you watch news or you read news, something in the news you will like, something you will dislike. Because we are conditioned by our mind. Someone from your sect, your religion, your culture is being hurt by someone else, you feel bad. Or something like that, there can be so many things. We are made up of so many things, conditioning. But I think that is also a very good test in a way to know, are we still entangled? Every time, every day we are going through this learning course. This is the God's learning course for liberation. Our day-to-day interaction with people and how we feel. And best gauge to understand how free we are and how much bondage we are. I'll tell you, the elementary level people are in bondage when they feel that someone has hurt them, or they have been insulted, or they have lost something or some being, or they couldn't achieve their goal, or whatever, like on a personal level. That is the elementary level of, I would say, very basic level of suffering or bondage. But we come across people who have none of these. They don't never talk about personal things. They're always helping others. They take their suffering inside, and then they do work, and they are not trying to do a propaganda of their good work. Very nice people are there in this world. But they have another thing. They are bound in their own concepts. If you take them out of their concepts, of their secure place, then they get annoyed and upset, and they are strong about whatever they believe or think. Though they are really pure, but then they are higher than people who are only thinking about them, me. They are beyond that me circuit, but then they have their own concepts about, very strong. These types of people we see sometimes as reformist or altruistic or doing voluntary work, and but when you even give up that doership, even of that good act, whether you do good act or not doesn't matter, but that doership, when is taken away by observing, then you start experiencing that bliss. Because so many times these good people, and they do very hard work for others, they are suffering when you talk to them one to one, because the situation is pathetic around, and they feel a lot of resistance in doing their good work, and though they do it very quietly, but then they see that people who are not doing any good work in good sense, but only to project that they are doing good, get all the medals and all recognition, then also they feel frustrated. I've seen that. That means ego is surviving, which is having this doership role. So then we have to go beyond that. And so day to day we come across so many things. Someone comes praising you, someone criticizes you, all these things happens. And in this learning course of God, only thing is how we can stay in that equanimity. One thing is we can show equanimity in front of others, just keeping quiet and feeling bad inside and maybe crying going back home. But if we feel so still and peaceful in spite of some insult done on us, or not feeling proud of any praise done on us, we get drawn more towards that bliss in our heart, because now we are getting independent, not dependent what the thoughts tell us or about others. We are just in our natural. Actually, that is a natural state, but to achieve natural state is so difficult, looks unnatural, because we have always lived in this unnatural state for so long.
Yes.
So to just be abiding in self as self, it looks so hard, because we have taken up this role very seriously
Yes.
in this body, mind, and whatever our job is. It is good for our employer because we are taking this role seriously, but it is not good for us. We are getting affected by everything, when I see these people, some of these jobs, like people in police force suffering from PTSD very badly, because they have seen all sorts of crimes, and sometimes they have to do things which from their heart they don't want to do, but it's a job service, and that's the way they have to sometimes do things. But it all affects their emotions, their feelings, their mind very badly. And when it comes towards retirement, they are looking forward to that. I saw a person who is retiring from police force in a few months. He looked so happy. He said, "Oh, I will be free." And he joined at the age of 18, and now he is almost close to 60. So we spend all our life in something in which we are not enjoying at all.
Yes.
If we understand this simple truth, then we will understand that living in this cage of egoistic attitude and ego mode, it is so suffocating. This is bondage. And in this bondage, we think we have free will. And that free will is how to suffer, nothing else. We find different ways to suffer.
After talking and watching your satsangs, I realized that nothing in this world can make me happy. Then I had a thought. If I apply the same equation, then nothing in this world can make me unhappy also. Then I thought, I am the center. All these things are happening around me, and I am just reacting one after another. If I stayed neutral, everything around me is neutral. Neither it's unhappy or happy. So then came, I shouldn't be attached. Then I'll stay neutral. And that is the sense of doership, that it's all happening and personally to me, I'm taking it personally.
Mm-hmm.
But Sanjay, I'm at a very shallow mind level. I am not highly qualified, like your words come out. I have envy, jealousy, ill will, hate still in me. I just want to be free of all that arises in me. I see it. And I want to be lovable, kind, and wish people well. But it's not always arising in me naturally because of my vasanas. I don't know what I did in my previous life, but now I see all this as bondage, that I had never been happy. And now I want to be free of all this. now I'm more struggling, which I never struggled before. Now seeing all this is, but in a way, there is peace also. That's where I am at. But I still have emotions.
Yeah, look, as we see, the wheel rotates and these axis, the middle is always still. It is not affected. And you said it beautifully that you are at the center. I'll tell you, all of us are at the center only. But and the test is, all these things comes and tries to check us. That's what I'm saying. It's the learning in our life, learning from the God. What irritates us, we stay. The other day, one of my friend was saying that, we all get a lot of hoax calls, just someone calls on our mobile, and most of the time people don't pick up if you don't know who is calling. So this man one day had 4 hoax calls, and he said, I lost my patience on the 4th one and I blasted. I said, this was your test by God, sending the 4th person, and maybe that 4th person was the last one, but you just gave up.
Yes.
And he said, I felt bad after whatever I said to that man. I felt really bad because, when we are angry, we actually are hurting ourselves first and then others. And then others, I don't know. If the other person stays in his own bliss, you cannot touch that person with your anger. But you have already burnt your hands in that anger. As Buddha said, if you're holding a red coal in your hand, burning coal, anger is like that. You can throw on others, but others will only be hurt when they are ready to receive it. Otherwise, they will not get burned. But you are already get burnt, the one who is angry. So this is something, I would say you are on the right path, and it takes time. It is a slow process. The biggest thing what I believe is that just realizing that these are the deficiencies in us which we have to correct. This is a huge big step. Otherwise, outside satsang, who admits this? We always criticize others for our own mistakes. Even in our heart, we know we have done wrong, but we still say that others have done wrong. Nobody admits mistake. Otherwise, there will never be any fight. So all this understanding of that level from where you are speaking is a very, very big thing. You have only the tail end is left and you just stay in this witnessing and don't give energy to anything, and don't even call it that my mind and I have this and because why should we identify with all the garbage in the mind? Look, anyway, we might be responsible at some stage collecting those things, but now we are throwing away the whole bag. We don't want anything, so we can be free in no time.
Thank you so much, Sanjay.
Thank you.
Thank you from my heart.
Thank you. I also thank you for such a beautiful and honest revelation about what is going on in you. So I'm so humbled the way you have explained, because what you are saying is anyone can relate with this. All of us can relate. It is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. This Mr. Raj Tej Singhani ji. Okay, you can unmute yourself, and Maya, you can mute yourself.
Namaste, sir.
I think you have to unmute. You have muted yourself.
Namaste, Sanjay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Namaste, Raj. Hello, how are you?
I am very, very blessed to speak to you, and I listen to you for maybe more than 2 years now, every morning, every evening.
Oh,
And
very good.
a lot has really opened up for me. And I've been on this journey for a long time. I follow Muji and Papaji and Bhagavan, and I find myself attracted to reading all of this, and it kind of combusts in my heart, and I find myself not attracted anymore to many things that I normally was very attracted to before. I even last week I had a strong urge to go to Arunachala. I went to Arunachala. I was able to visit Bhagavan's ashram, and it's been nice. And but somehow there is something that keeps coming and pulling me, and I that's why I found myself. I found actually that I can reach out and come to this call. So here I am. I'm very happy to be here. There's this. I also am an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur and have been so for a few decades now. So, earlier you were talking about good for the employer, but I have the other kind of problem where I have it that the employees are not doing what I am standing for. And I'm not so attracted to the money, but, to do something good in the world and to leave a mark and to have people grow. And I'm not even attracted. Many times I find myself not in inaction now, not wanting to put effort, things unfold. And then comes this regular thought that I'm being irresponsible. I'm not taking action. And then come fear, and then come taking action out of panic and stuff. And then again, it's this whole reaction and everything, and then again I'm angry about that, and then it pulls me back, and then but I naturally just don't want to do anything. And then I ask myself, what should I just stop all of this? Should I give up all of this? But then I pick a bigger office, I hire more people, and then I am like, do I really want to do this? So I just thought I will share this with you.
Yeah. Look, because all these entrepreneurs and the work people who are big achievers and all, they are in Rajasic Pravarti, they have a lot of energy and they want to use that energy to do something. And if you have good intentions, you want to do good work. And so there's no harm in doing good work. But the thing is that this doership leads to suffering, this that I am doing, and then I need to do this, and then this is the obstacle. And because whoever does whatever, basically there will be always obstacle. There will be people who will disagree to you, how good your intentions. And even then, even when you don't want to do anything bad to anyone, still people might don't like you, or even with Bhagavan, there were people who were even opposing Bhagavan who always kept quiet, never left his cave or his ashram. Even then people came to him to fight with him, argue with him. This is the nature of the world, But I'll tell you the secret how to deal with this, which only we can learn from Bhagavan. When I'll give you a very simple example. When someone wrote Bhagavan's biography and brought it to Bhagavan, Bhagavan looked through it and corrected all the grammatical mistakes and gave it back to him. Now another person who was watching this read through that biography and went back to Bhagavan again. He said, Bhagavan, he has wrote all wrong things about you. There's a lot of things he doesn't know. He has just written it down from his own imagination, or maybe he has heard somewhere, but you have not corrected him. He said, it's his job. I only corrected the grammatical mistakes. Whatever he thinks, let him think. This goes so deeply. Let's say someone is writing your biography and brings to you all the nonsense which you have never done or you are never involved. What would you do? You will say, look, this is wrong. I have never done this. Bhagavan didn't bother even about that. What equanimity he is in. What level of equanimity he is in. You know, this, if we take this even as a mantra, that are we at that level, or can we try to achieve that level? That can take you there. That is so much of power in just watching how he lived his life, you know. And the reason I'll tell you why this is that, because he knows, as Mayaji was telling, and very truly, that we are the center of what is going. So when we are the center and we are the source, it is coming from my mind, then what to accept and what to reject. Even if it goes against this body, it is my picture. Whether you call it my karma or my intention or my thoughts or the source is mind, but who am I? If I am rejecting, reacting, then that means I am also that individual body. And here our life is at stake. If you want freedom, you have to leave that place. And if you leave that place, then you have to keep your mouth shut. If you are speaking out, that means you are still speaking from that body as that person. And you are in trap. Finish, story is finished. You have lost the plot. So this is the thing. If we really want freedom, or we still want to do good work in this world, or we want to increase our business, or what is the aim? I'm not against any business or entrepreneurship. That's all good. But understand, if what is your first priority, if the first priority is peace, then you will always go for peace, whether the business is going up or down. I have realized so many times that if an intention comes that something is not right, and before you react, you keep quiet, you see that the natural course fixes it up. Though it needs patience, because the ego says, I will fix it, I know how to fix it, and you jump. So you jump from that witness mode to the ego mode so quickly, and you have lost the game. It is like a game played on us by Maya or God, whatever you say. Inside this Maya, you are trying to withdraw, and then something you don't like, and you just jump. And you jump and you're gone. Now you start again from zero. It is like snake and ladder, It is actually a beautiful game if you take it as a game. It is not at all stressful. Because here you know who is at fault. And every time I'll tell you, we are at fault. I am at fault. No one else. I am at fault. I'll give you another example. You just read Bhagavan's story and you can correct all your life. You don't even have to meditate. Bhagavan used to go on the Arunachala hill and he used to just explore, not any purpose, just every day, morning and evening. One day he was going and he was trying to find something or going, and then a lot of these honeybees or something, some flies, they all jumped on him, and they bited. And then he kept his foot there without moving. And then Bhagavan said, look, I was doing wrong. I was entering in their area. What was the need for me to go there? They did the right thing. It is their area. And then I said, okay, do what you have to do now with me. And then he left. Look, this all shows us that sometimes we invite trouble, Sometimes we act too early, not giving that nature or absolute or God, whatever you call it, to let that take action if someone is against you. Why you want to be your own lawyer? Just wait for a while and just see how things goes. And you will realize, if you follow this rule, this mantra, you will be at peace. That is the first thing. then you have not lost peace. So one benefit is 100%, even if you lose business or the employee is not right or whatever. But the second thing will come, somehow the employee will realize his or her mistake, or will correct, or something will change, or that something will make that person to leave your establishment. So we just need some patience, or that, because that power of just be there is immense. It is God, it is godly, it is divine. It makes everything work in such a beautiful way that your ego cannot fix it. Like, I was trying to explain someone that how many actions do you control in your body? Nothing. Breath continues, heart pumps, liver works, kidneys function, bowel moves. Do you think you can control your kidneys or heart? And if the moment you think you can control, you will just get everything. That's why the God has not given us power even to control our own body. What about others? He cannot trust our ego. But in spite of that, we trust our ego. How bad it is. This is the only sin which we all are doing. We have created our own small kingdom in kingdom of God. And so we are unhappy because we don't know how to manage it. We are very bad managers of our own kingdom. And we don't let go. Letting go is the key to freedom. Letting go. Accepting things as it is. Insult or praise, gain or loss, whatever, in whatever way, at body level, mind level, situation. Once we start living like this, equanimity unfolds from within, because mind is the entity which is always restless, always looking for trouble, always trying to fix something. And when you just give up, you let go. Because understand, your employees are also coming from you. Mind is you, coming from you. Mind, you are the source of the mind. Your mind is projecting your body, other bodies and situation and the whole world. Understand this truth. This is the most important thing to understand. Then you will never hate anyone. You will never criticize anyone. Because everything is coming from you only. Then what to accept and what to reject? Exactly like the dream at night. Whom would you blame for that dream? Yourself. If you have done good or bad. But when you know it is a dream, you don't even say that you are at wrong. It is just a dream. No one's fault. There was no one actually in that. You were not there, others were not there. Same is right now, exactly same, no difference. If you go into Bhagavan's teaching, this is the most important teaching, that someone asked him, Bhagavan, you always tell us what is the difference between dream and this waking state. He said, dream is short, waking state is longer. Such a simple answer, no difference. If there's no difference, and every night when you dream, and whatever happens, you just reject everything because it was just the preparation of mind. It was not you. You were not even there. Right now also you are not there, but you think you are there. This is the problem. You are only witnessing in awareness that there is a body functioning and interacting with other bodies and things are happening. situations are changing. There is a good situation or a bad situation, but it is just a situation arising from the mind. You are nothing, you are nowhere in this. Then who is getting bothered? Ask this question in your heart. Who is this who is getting bothered about business, and who is that? If you ask this question deeply, it will take you to the source where you are nothing, where no one is anything. Once you reach there, then all this Maya's play on you, this big illusion, will have no effect. But you have to enter your heart. You have to be there. If you stay externally at intellectual level, understanding all these things, it is not going to help. You have to give up your role playing. Not just that you should just stay quiet and the body doesn't move. No, let the body move, but you move from that position and you come to the heart. And as when we started today's satsang, as Mayaji was saying, you are at the center, so you have to be there. Keep quiet and see what unfolds. Can you stay like that? And for how long? And if you slip, then come back. And if your intentions are right, you're honest about your efforts, in no time you will be free. Because why we suffer, why we stress, why we are anxious is because it is very unnatural state in which we all live. And in unnatural state, you cannot be contented and happy and blissful. There can be moments only. So very easy if you just accept your failures, and even if the mind says you are useless and you are lazy, let it say it is just a thought, have a laugh on it, and accept it. Like, it is mind is creating duality. Whom is mind saying to whom? The one who is listening to it. But who is listening? This
ego.
Yes, but this ego has to go because it is our own illusion. So whenever the mind troubles you, ask this question to whom it is saying. If it says ego, then ask this, am I ego? Who am I? Or even just witnessing this thought and where it acts, and then watching from the source will just dissolve it. It will not touch you. And that, if you call it a practice, yes, then it is a practice. But it is not like a practice which people do, spiritual people do, sitting every day for 5 minutes in Gyan Mudra. Useless. Or Anulom Vilom Pranayam every day for 5 minutes. 5 minutes you are doing Anulom Vilom Pranayam, and rest of the time you are always in your mind, creating jealousy, envy, anger, this and that. How can it fix? And then people say, oh, I do 10 minutes of pranayam every day. I feel so good whole day. Yes, maybe you're less angry, less this, but the ego is still there. And maybe the ego is more bigger now. Because this pranayam I am doing, I am the doer, I can do it, I have achieved. What is it? So, when we come to Advaita or non-duality, it hits on the nail. Where is the problem? Get rid of that problem. And that's all. Problem is only ego. Ego interacts with mind. Nothing else interacts with mind. What we are always free. If nothing affects you, then the role of mind is gone. Then the mind comes to you with suggestions. Get rid of this employee, or blast this or do this. But if you are accepting everything, then mind will, whom it will talk to. If you are accepting everything, mind has no one to talk, because that entity, what we think, is only an illusion. That is the reason why Bhagavan always stresses mano nasha. He never talks about the niyantran of man or control of mind. He says, finish it off. How to finish mind is finishing ego only, because ego is only the part of mind which behaves as there too. And their interaction with each other actually hides, it's a veil on what we are. So we have to recede, we have to leave that place. That place is very unstable. When we leave,
it always finds the a lot of the time I can be and inquire who is it coming to and what is coming to, and I'm not, and I say neti, it's not this, I'm not this one, and it's the silence I can find very peaceful. I can even be, and then it could be something like my son playing with the mobile phone or anything, and then it's just like out there, and then and then reaction come, and then it could be it could be something like it could be just anything that just gets taken me out then.
So that's what I would say. When you practice, then what happens is that we have more resilience. There are people, we all come across road rage. Someone has hit their car, they will kill him. So there is no filter. There is no full of impulsivity. This is mind. They're living in mind so much so that they can't stop. What is rape? Rape is someone wants to have a sex urge, seeing another person, and he can't stop. There's no filter, impulsivity only, done completely drowned in mind. And then there is different grades, then you move towards better people, good people. You say something, they will hear, they will not react, but they have a different degree. Maybe when it is really, really bad, then they might have some reaction. And then the reaction goes away very quickly, in a way that you feel that you have to come back. So they can readjust themselves very quickly. Some stay in anger, not talking to their spouse for a few days. I know my friends, sometimes they say we are sleeping in different rooms for 2 weeks, and there was a fight for 5 minutes, now going on for 5 weeks, and sometimes a lifelong, people hold grudges. That means they have not grown. They are full of that mind attitude. But I'll tell you, the more we start staying as a witness, we get this power. This power comes in us. Power comes from within us. It does not come from outside. As Mayaji was saying about, I have a weak mind. Look, this weakness you become very strong from within. More, you don't react. You gain power. Every time something is happening, you're not reacting, you're gaining that energy. Because this is dissipating energy with reacting and analyzing and criticizing and all, When you stay there, you become like a huge ball of energy, infinite ball of energy. Basically, we are all energy. We work at ego level as an individual energy. And when we give up individuality, we become infinite awareness. But the thing is that at ego level, we want to use all energy, all things in whatever we want to accomplish, good or bad. But when we become infinite, we accept everything, because what to do, what to accomplish, It's already accomplished. Everything is perfect. There is not even this much of imperfection in the word when you stay in the source. It is only the imperfect mind sees imperfectness. Because when you are in that pure awareness, even that imperfection is part of the drama. Let it be. That is also beautiful. That gives variety to the word. Someone is less angry, someone is more angry. Who cares? It is amazing when we start living in the source. More people live in the source, more happier the earth will be. That is the best we all can do to humanity. If you really want to do something best, I would say that is the thing. There was an Indian freedom fighter, I think Subramaniam Bharati from South, and he was a orator, writer, poet, very literate man. And he went to Bhagavan Shri Ramana Maharshi, and he was full of energy, freedom fighter, He said, what is the need of the hour? He asked Bhagavan, and that time, India's independence struggle was going on. He said, what is the need of the hour? Bhagavan said, heed and go inside you. That's all. That's the need of the hour, is that you heed, not need, heed. Pay attention to your inner being, that's all. And he said that will always be the answer, whatever the external situation in the world is. Because mind always will give you excuses to keep running outwardly, doing things. Projects will never finish. This body will be dead one day, but your projects will never finish. I've never seen anyone saying that my projects are finished. Indian maestro Pandit Jasraj ji, I saw he was singing when he was 90 years of age. He did a beautiful presentation at the age of 90, and he died after a few months after that. In January, I think he did this program on Gandhi Samadhi in Delhi. And in August, in Feb, he went to New Jersey where he used to live, and then he died in August. And he started singing at the age of 4. Died at the age of 90. Wow. Look, work never ends. Life ends. Work never ends. He was a well accomplished, rare to find someone like him. But what I'm just trying to tell you is that how long a person can work. And then what happens at the end? At the end, we all become dust. Only our mind gives importance to things, that this is important, I have to do this. And then the mind says, you lazy, you are still sleeping, you have to do these things. I'm not asking you to be lazy, but I'm just, because most of the people are very wrath-sick. They just want to keep doing. Doership never ends. Do you think if you are the richest person in the world, or whatever you have accomplished best in your field, would you stop? No. They keep going. The more you do better and you get successful, you have that, addiction, nasha. You get completely into it,
It's very funny. I share with you something. I was in Arunachala, and I read that it's a good idea to, and I didn't know before, I read it's a good idea to do the Guru Pradakshina of the Arunachala mountain. And so I did the whole thing, and it was a very good experience, and it was very like silent. The mind was silent. And then when I'm coming back on the airport, I read somewhere that you should keep looking at the mountain, and Bhagavan said you should do it at the pace of a woman who is 9 months pregnant. And then my mind said, hey, but you didn't do it like that. And then since then I'm thinking, oh, look at me. I didn't do it like that. It's always sending me something to, oh, I need to go back and do it like that.
Look, there's no doubt that at Arunachala, it's a big magnet which aligns us back into our heart, and that is, it's a very good thing. But then just remembering that what it teaches us is to be just there, not using the mind and not reacting, equanimity. That is what it is all about. If you look, whatever our actions in life is also for happiness. Like you want to do good to others, or you want to build a business. Why? Because you think that will give you happiness, satisfaction, contentment. But the moment you start receding into this witnessing mode, you are in bliss, you are content, you are the source of contentment, you are that ocean. And then you will realize, what would I fix? That absolute God has already fixed everything. Who am I to fix anything? Where I stand nowhere. This body stands nowhere. Everything is already perfect. Imperfection in us sees imperfection in others and the world. Understand this truth, because it is projecting from me only. So if I'm seeing deficiency, that means the deficiency is in me. That is the reason when we gossip about others and we criticize others, actually it is our own deficiencies which are projected in form of others, because it is our mind which is projecting all the wrong things around us. And then we say, oh, the world is suffering, these people are so bad, and this and that, and it is my own movie. Correct inside and the movie will be right. You take the right position within you. Actually, if you see, Bhagavan's teaching is challenging. It is, I would say, if you put these teachings in the public domain where people will read, most of will say, this is all crap, I am different, others are different. Why would I be blamed to others' behaviors? Who am I? What is mind? There is no mind. Mind is my thought. The word is separate, than me. I am this body, I have a choice and I can do it, and I am an achiever and I have done it. You can't. There's no need to convince anyone also. It is only for us in satsang to talk about it. These are the purest teaching for the one who wants real liberation from the mind. We recently had a satsang, face to face on Saturday. And someone was telling me, why don't you tell people using neurosciences and quantum physics, and nowadays the science is also accepting Advaita, and they are all saying everything has come from nothing. Why would do you think I should take help of science and all these scientists to prove what I am? And then tomorrow these scientists, another group will say all these experiments were done was wrong, they were fake, Then what will happen to what I know from me, what from my inside? Is that not the truth? Why we have to go for external source to find a truth? And that is what the science is. Science always keeps changing. One day, look, as a medical, you make protocols, and after 10 years, the protocols are exactly opposite, The medicines which you think are the first line, they are nowhere in the treatment. And they keep changing. The new drug companies, the pharma, they make all these, they structure according to their own needs. And then they have everything. They have money, they have drug, they have scientists, they have doctors, and then they prove, and then someone else comes and they want to do their stuff, and they do their stuff.
Yeah. Lobbying and protocol, and I am in that business. I understand this business.
And we call it science, Believe on science. You are a scientific man. People guide me. Can you believe so many seekers guide me that you are a scientist, you are a researcher, you are a neurologist. Why don't you use that intelligence to convince people? I said, it's not a propaganda. We are not doing any propaganda. It's not a religion. We are creating a sect to convert. If someone comes from their heart and they feel peace, that is the proof. Proof is in the pudding. You eat and you will get the taste. You stay in your heart and you will know what it is. You don't need science backup to be in your heart. Intellectual level, it looks nice, that there is an evidence and all. But what that evidence will do if you don't do anything, you have to do the hard bit. You have to stay here. Stay in your heart and know the truth. Even if the whole world says it's not true, but you will know it. Because you feel the peace. You are in bliss. How does it matter if others, whatever they say? I am actually happy. I am not saying that I am against if the science also says that non-duality is the truth. It is good. If they also say the same thing, it is good. It's good. There is no resistance to ancient teachings. It is good. But if the best proof is your own peace, when you do it and you feel peace, that is the best proof. I would say, don't worry too much about what happens. You stay in your peace and do the act from there only. You will have at least one thing, peace. That is guaranteed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Livia, do you want to ask? I remember you wanted to ask something.
Well, I guess I'll ask the question that's been on my mind more recently, which is that oftentimes when something comes up that I feel like I haven't burned through yet, instead of, I kind of just go into it and I look at it for a long time without analyzing, but kind of letting myself feel the emotions of it so that I can extract myself out of it. And is that a bad approach? Or am I just causing suffering to myself without needing to, and instead just asking myself, who is the one asking this question? But I find sometimes when I ask myself just who is the person asking this question, without looking at it fully, it's still there a little bit. So those techniques sort of contradict themselves sometimes, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But I guess my real question is, I oftentimes rather feel like opening my heart to it fully before asking, who is the one asking this question? and then letting it go. I just would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Look, in this process of stabilizing yourself in your heart, there is this mind which is still active, and it can ask, and it can say, and it can comment, or it can create emotions. But if you stay in your heart, and you don't have to even ask question whom this mind is talking, or what it is doing, and why it is coming, and if we accept whatever it is, let it be, let it be. It's a paraphernalia. There is a body, there's a mind, there's intellect, and you are abiding in your heart. And even if it is screaming or saying or emotions, let it be, let it be, let it be. And what will happen, that energy from where you are staying will dissolve it. It's just this, it is the fire of that pyre, and everything is just burning, let it burn, let it burn. And just be with that. Have faith and have patience, because it takes time, because it's a newfound energy. It's like a new birth, and let that ego just dissolve or burnt out. And it is like a last cry, that it's just saying what it has to say. So you just stay here and don't worry, and don't give it a name, and don't try to find who am I, or the ego is there, or the mind is there, or what is happening. You just stay in your bliss and just be there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's sit in this pure silence. It is not an external silence. It is the silence of the self. And it is always there, irrespective whether body does anything, an action is happening or not happening. Be with the silence of self, as self. Stay in your heart. Allow actions to happen, staying in your heart. And at the end, everything will be right. Because you are at the right place, remember this. You have to correct your position, and then everything will be right. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.